But thank you so much. Anyway, let's get into this. Welcome to the channel. We're going to talk right away about Rambo, the drop that Veve's doing on Saturday, which is hilarious. I mean, look at his face right there. You gotta love it, okay? You just gotta love it. Now we're gonna go to the Medium article because it was just released, and I'm gonna look at how many editions there are and the price and all of that, and we'll go into it, and then we'll check out like how much the physical toy is worth in the real world, and we'll do all of that as well. And because there are 6 scale toys that that are out there in the real world, like this, like Rambo, like that are the same size as my Mandalorian over here, and they're pretty rad. And then we'll talk about Studio Canal, the movie company that's behind it, and how they actually have put some they actually have mentioned this drop on their site, which is cool because that doesn't usually happen. So let's get right into it. And then we'll talk about all sorts of other stuff as well, right? So anyway, here it is, Rambo. There he is with his arrow right there going all crazy. Let's go to the Medium article right here. Rambo takes aim. And the good news is that it is animated. So this is another step up, because I think we wanted that with Kang and with other drops we've gotten, even Killer Croc, and even like, that we wanted an animation, and the animation does help a lot with these kind of drops. So we'll see what happens. Rambo, since his debut nearly 4 decades ago. Now, this is the thing. Do people on Veve care about Rambo? I'm not sure. We'll find out. I'll tell you what I think about that in just a sec, because, RoboCop has done really well in this app, but I'll tell you what I think about this in just a sec. Sylvester Stallone's Rambo has become one of the most iconic action heroes of all time. He has. They did a recent movie, too, not that long ago. So an ex-Green Beret haunted by memories of Vietnam, John Rambo has battled small-town prejudice, freed prisoners of war, rescued his commanding officer from the Soviets, and unleashed vengeance like no other, for sure. All while wearing a red headband. It's crazy. So here, see Rambo immortalized in the first digital collectible celebrating the iconic hero, which this is the first that we've ever seen on the blockchain. This is legit. We used to talk about that a ton, but this is for real. I don't know how many more Rambos we're going to get, but this is the first one. Inspired by First Blood Part 2, in case you haven't seen it, the first one was actually when he was just walking through a town, and then he got all bullied by the police. And by the way, that town is Hope. That's the name of the town. It's in British Columbia, Canada, which is not that far from where I live. And if you go to Hope, you can still walk through the town, and it surprisingly looks very similar to the movie. It's quite strange. You walk down the main street and you'll actually see some of the scenes from the movie. So it's quite famous for Canadians here on the west coast of Canada. Hope is more just off the west coast, but it's a little town in Canada, which is really cool, which, because of the rain and everything was like, pretty standard. But anyway, in the film, Rambo is offered the chance to cut short his prison term by going on a secret mission to the U.S. government deep into the jungles of Vietnam, locating prisoners of war. So yeah, he gets arrested after the first one, spoiler alert, because it goes all crazy. So the second one, they actually bring him out and they let him go and rescue people. But there's a whole backstory behind it. Anyway, you can go check out the collectible breakdown, from Corey, Veve and 3, who on obviously Veve's, YouTube channel, which is, a really great video. I'd recommend you guys go check it out. Just, use the Medium article right there. But here he is. Look at him. He actually looks absolutely fantastic. I'm really surprised about how good he looks. Now, I'm not sure about the base because I like my collectibles to be able to put anywhere I want, but there is a base that's attached to them. There's sound with this one. It's animated. It's very cool. So, but the fact that there's rocks there, I'm not sure I like that. I would have liked him just standing alone because then I can put him anywhere I want. But it definitely does add to kind of like this little, sculpture sort of aspect. It's kind of like Killer Croc vibes to me with Batman. It has the base to it, but this one's animated with sound, so it's cool. And it looks just like him. I don't think there's any doubt that his face looks exactly like Sylvester Stallone. So they did a really good job on that, if you ask me. Anyway, let's check out the numbers right there. There's 60 gems, okay, at 2,400 editions. Now, I did look at this prior. I don't normally. I like to do my reveals, my instant gut reactions to these live, but I wanted to look into this one a little bit. And 60 gems to me and 2,400 editions. Now, I think this one's going to sell out in the market. Okay, I think people are going to go for it because it's animated and there's only one, and it looks just like them. But 60 gems is a bit high for me on this. So I would have liked to seen this at 30 or maybe 40 at the most, maybe even 50 at the most. 60 gems is a bit too high for me on this one. So I'm not sure if I'm going for this drop, to be 100% honest. And it's not because of like, if I think it's going to be worth a lot more in the marketplace after for flipping or anything like that. I just don't know if I want to spend 60 gems on Rambo myself. Now, he is from my generation. And I mean, I do love the Rambo, I do think it looks fantastic. And once I see it in the app, I might change my mind. But I do think there's enough people that this will sell out. Now, I don't think it's going to sell out in a heartbeat in a second. If this was under 2,000 editions, I think it would sell out right away. I think it would be just fine. Like RoboCop, because RoboCop, there's 1,987 of those, which matches the year that it came out. This one's 2,400. I'm not really sure why it's 2,400 at 60 gems. I think it's a bit high. So I don't know if this one's going to sell out immediately. And I do think you'll have a chance to get this under retail personally. I'm just being honest. This was just what I think. Now, of course, the Veve market will decide, and all of us will decide for sure. But I do think you'll have a chance to get it under retail because, there's going to be people who are going to go for this, and they're going to go for low mints or whatever they're going to do, and then they're going to dump it if they can. And if soon as somebody drops it under retail, you know that about 55 other people are going to just follow suit and just lose gems as well. So I would recommend, if you love the collectible, this is one to go for sure. I don't know how much profit you'll make off of it immediately, but I do think over time, this one's going to do good. I think people are going to buy it up slowly over time. They're going to add him to the collection because it looks fantastic. And I think he'll do fine over time. And it probably will be close to retail for quite a while, maybe just under for sure. Just my opinion. You guys let me know what you think as well, because I really want to know if this is, if I'm off base here or not. This is just a prediction on my part. Now, if you check out how much he's worth as a toy, because that's my area is toys, right? I've always been in, and just so you know, through my store that I had, I did have a Sideshow Collectibles merchant account, which is you can only get if you're a store owner. And I don't have it now because I don't have my brick and mortar store anymore, but I did have it. And Sideshow Collectibles actually sells these Rambo toys. They're under a company called the, 30. Okay. And if you go to Sideshow's website right here, you can scroll down right here. You can see Rambo right here, a 6-scale figure retails for about $199 US. Okay, here it is right here. You can see him, Rambo, and then he's got all sorts of stuff. It looks really fantastic, and you can do all sorts of stuff with him, right? You can like make him all look good from the first, and it's pretty much from the first movie, but you can make him look any way you want, and that goes for about 200, right? And for sure. And there is that's so rare right there. Sorry. If you go to eBay, you can actually see the version of this toy that's come out. This is actually from Rambo 3. This is when he's got the arrow. So, the version of this toy on DC is supposed to be from Rambo 2. But, there's Rambo 3 right there. You can see, and this is what it looks like in the box, and it's the same thing. It's 30 right there, which is a pretty cool company. If you actually go to their website, there's 2 versions that they've come out with, Rambo by itself and Rambo 3. So there isn't a Rambo 2 one that I see that's available yet. But they do retail. If you go to eBay, this retails for about $475 to $400. That's sort of what these go for in the aftermarket. And usually eBay is the aftermarket for 6-scale toys. So it's just a little bit interesting just to give you some idea. Now we're getting this one for $60. All right. So that shows that the price isn't that bad. Like for Veve, it might be tough for the flippers and the traders on the app. They may not see a lot of profit, but as a collector's point of view, 60 gems on this at 2,400 editions is a joke. It should be just fine if you believe in the digital collecting space, which I do. So I'm not sure if I'm going for this on the drop yet. I'm just going to wait and decide. This is coming up in a couple days, so I have some time to decide. Now, if you go over to Studio Canal, which is the company that actually owns, I guess, the rights to the Rambo movies, if you go to their website right here, you can see all their upcoming movies and stuff. But down in their social section right here, you can see that they actually put this out on Instagram. putting the information out there to their followers on Instagram. So you can see right there, see Rambo immortalized in his first digital collectible celebrating the iconic hero. First Blood Part 2 drops on Saturday at 8 a.m. on Veve Official. And so you can see they just put that out on Instagram right there. Now, if you go to their Instagram, you can see right there, they got 15,000 followers on Instagram. So it's not super huge, but they do have a bigger Twitter following. And you can see this is their most recent post. So they're behind this drop. They're actually putting this out. They're actually showing it, which is cool, right? Like the fact that they're actually, like retweeting and reposting, because a lot of these companies we see, they don't do that. Like I don't remember seeing a lot about like Lambo themselves putting out information about Lambo, even though we got tons of press releases, right? And so, and by the way, those press releases on Lambo, those really actually started to multiply even more. We don't have to talk about that now, but that really, promoted Veve quite a bit. But you can see they promoted it right here. Now, if we check them out right here, if we actually go to Twitter, okay, so there's Rambo right there on the Veve site. Now, if you go to Studio Canal on Twitter right here, okay, you can scroll down. Look, they got also the Evil Dead right there, which is crazy. And then they're promoting their movies and things and, stuff like that. If you scroll down, look, there's Terminator right there. Let's get Terminator in the app for sure. If we scroll down just a little bit more, there's a reason for it that I wanted to show you just a bit further. There's Kate Blanchett right there. That's all good. Scroll down just a smidge. There's a couple more movies and things. Josh Hartnett and all that. Blah, blah, blah. Come down. Not too much further. Trust me. A little bit further right here. There's Elizabeth Taylor and all that. They did retweet it right here. So where is it? I did see it, unless they just deleted it or something like that. But I did see them they retweeted this drop right here. Where are they? Did I miss it or something? Okay, because I saw, there it is right there. What am I doing? I scrolled right past it. Anyway, you can see they actually retweeted it, which is cool, right? They retweeted Veve's thing with Rambo. So that's nice that they're actually getting involved. And you can see right here, they have, 78,000 followers. So this is actually decent that they're actually doing this, as opposed to just, ignoring the drop, which is what you usually get from these companies, these movie companies. And when I don't know if RoboCop was retweeted or anything like that, but it's just interesting right there for sure, right? So